One of the questions that we're trying to answer with this fundamental research is how to design meaningful classroom activity for small groups in a regular classroom. And so what we find is that the design of the activities and what you're asking students to do is actually important for them to actually then be able to talk in depth about their pieces, but then to also talk with their peers, to build on each other, to compare, contrast, challenge, refine, and negotiate in a way that builds their collective understanding.
Fundamental STEM education research is essential to create those applied learning environments that are successful for students. So I hope that understanding the gains of ungraded structures will help push us towards better learning experiences for students, right? We already shifted from the instruction part, where we went from lecture only to active learning and a lot of different really interesting ways into delivering the content, but we haven't shifted in hundreds of years on how we evaluate students. And thinking of how we impact students in terms of evaluation is really key. And I hope that more research like mine, looking at the benefits of ungrading, will help faculty to shift towards that way of evaluating because it is more challenging.
This study demystifies what the role of identity is in mentoring relationships and how it can enable the mentor and the mentee to really thrive in the relationship.
In the current education climate, our teachers are having burnout. And this is also leading to turnover of teachers. The colleague platform can help in retention of teachers because they have an opportunity of not having to spend too much time planning a lesson, but instead they have more time thinking about the students who are in front of them.
Education core research funding has really enabled us to go in depth and to really design and redesign activities and to innovate and iterate almost in real time. I mean, we're always trying to get more efficient and more reflective and to be able to prototype and move things into the field. But the depth of the funding has enabled us to, so far, carry out two phases of research. First, the individual interviews, which we've analyzed in depth, and then the paired interviews, which had to be redesigned because you had to have the students talking to each other, not the interviewer interjecting every single turn.
Recruiting and working with teachers across the entire country and all of their students and adding to their already busy load would be impossible without the support from NSF. So far we have worked with over 100 classrooms across the United States, more than 2,000 students, and the funding that we received was critical to be able to reach all of these teachers, all of these students in our study.
And this funding really helped me build on my prior research and ask the questions that I wanted to ask, but didn't really have the breadth or the space to ask, because this research takes time in terms of scale development, in terms of doing in-depth qualitative research, and then followed by validation quantitative research. So I feel that the NSF funding really enabled me to budget out time and give the investment needed, both in terms of my energy and time.
I think developing courses is the most exciting part because you can see the impact that you have on students directly, but without the fundamental research, we are flying blindly and we think that we're having that effect, but we're not sure. And so having that supportive data is fundamental because it will allow us to actually create change where we want it to be.